My name is Elizabeth Olvera. I'm a legal document assistant in San Francisco. I wanted to share my experience of the time I bought a license to become a divorce service provider for an existing business. The license is what I would call a business in a box. I'm not going to say the real name of the business that I purchased for this video. We'll just call the company Divorce Form Prep. One day at a professional conference for California legal document assistants, I met a woman. Let's name her Kathy. She approached me about buying a license for Divorce Form Prep. Kathy told me that this license already had over 20 years of being in business and brought great credibility and referral work, so the phones were sure to ring. During a break at the conference, Kathy showed me her sales presentation where she went over a high-level overview of how the license worked and what the estimated sales forecast would be for me to earn money. All I saw was dollar signs. However, I didn't get my hopes up high on the revenue estimates of how much income I would earn because I figured Kathy's presentation was, let's say, very optimistic. I figured if I can get a fraction of what she is proposing that I can earn, then that will cover the monthly license fee and my expenses to begin with. I didn't give her a decision at that time. I decided to keep thinking about it. Because I was just starting out, I had to really think about what I wanted to do in terms of starting my LDA business. I had to determine if I was going to start my business from scratch. If I decided to not buy the license, I would have to build my own networks and connections with professionals in this new field of law. The thought of hands-on training and shadowing Kathy, the LDA, really interested me because I figured that I would learn so much. I met with Kathy a few weeks later and found out that I would be taking over the license from a prior divorce provider who no longer had the license. I was not told why. Because I couldn't think of many downsides of buying the license, I eventually decided that I did want to buy a license to be a divorce service provider for my county. It seemed like a great idea. I signed the license agreement. I made my hefty down payment to hold the license exclusively for 3 years. I was excited to be embarking on this new journey. Kathy set me up with the business basics: business cards, a marketing expert, a Google My Business page, a listing on the Divorce Form Prep website as a service provider in my area, and I was about as ready as I was going to be. I was excited. I reviewed the license agreement, and it included rights to use and market the name Divorce Form Prep, and I would get an operating manual, prior templates, monthly check-in meetings with other providers, and hands-on training. In order to ensure that I received the Divorce Form Prep referrals, Kathy would provide me with a designated phone line that would ring to my phone. I also was able to call up the provider on occasion and ask questions regarding certain clients and how to proceed. To me, that was the most valuable part about taking on this license, that even though I knew very little about running an LDA business, I could walk in with a blank slate and already start offering the service. I remember Kathy told me, "Get the client, we'll figure out the rest later together." So I was like, well, what could go wrong? On day one, I already had a client seeking my services. My first client was someone who had been referred to me by a mediator. I had never met that mediator before. However, the mediator was most likely familiar with Divorce Form Prep business already and felt comfortable referring to the company. That's an example of the benefits of buying an established business. There's business continuation. When these clients came in for a free consultation, they asked me to help them with their process. Obviously, I was scared because I had never done it before. Luckily, I had attended some conferences and received some prior training, such as what to do when you get your first client, how to open the file, how to fill out the forms. But even then, it was pretty nerve-wracking once I actually had to do it with real clients. Well, about a few months in, things were going great. People would tell me, "Hey, one of the only reasons that I used your business was because I really liked your business name. I felt like it really spoke to me, and there was great reviews on Yelp. And that's why I wanted to do business with you." So I had that instant credibility. But then a couple of months in, as the holiday season was approaching, early November and December, the work started to dry up a little bit. The phone stopped ringing less and less. I quickly learned that there's not very many people doing divorce services during the holiday season and during family festivities. People are at home, people are with their family, they're spending lots of times together, and no one likes to spend the holidays alone. Since work was slowing down, I decided that I needed to start advertising. I signed up for the advertising program that the license provider offered. There was an additional cost that needed to be paid for the marketing, separate from the license monthly fee that I was already paying. That's when I started thinking, well, at the end of 3 years, if I were to decide to not renew the license, I was going to be left with nothing to show for it. I would have worked really, really hard to build the business up, promote the business through marketing, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't even be my business. At the end of year 3, the business would be bigger and better, and any future referrals that I would have received from past clients that I helped would most likely be referred out to the new license holder at Divorce Form Prep. If I wasn't a licensed provider at that time, I would not get the benefit of the referral. So what I decided to start doing was advertising my own business as Olvera and Associates, alongside with the Divorce Form Prep license. When divorce work wasn't coming in and I didn't feel confident in doing divorces, I felt as if though I had made a mistake, and I felt that I probably should not have purchased the license. I had given myself a chance to see what I hadn't given myself a chance to see what running a family law business without a license would be like. For various reasons, Divorce Form Prep was not everything that I hoped it would be. But I don't have any regrets, because what having the license allowed me to do was to not worry so much about lead generation and to not worry about getting my systems in place, since that was already given to me. I instead could focus more on working on the business, specifically tasks like updating a customer relationship management software, working on creating my billing system, generating invoices to streamline getting payments. I got to work on the administrative side of the business. I got to work on my business, not necessarily in my business. And it allowed me to tweak certain things about the license in a way that it would work for me. And it's easier to tweak and revise template systems than it is starting from scratch. So fast forward 3 years, I decided I didn't want to renew the license, and me and Kathy parted ways amicably. In terms of whether I made more money with the license or without the license, that was a question I had to ask myself when it came time to renew. Within those 3 years, I learned so much about the court system, court filings, working with self-help litigants, and getting systems in place. But now, if someone were to present me with a license idea, such as this business in a box opportunity, I don't think that I would do it, because there's something to be said about getting that first client based on your own hustle and struggle. I got that opportunity with Olvera and Associates. With Olvera and Associates, I hit the pavement. I went door to door in my community, and I handed out flyers regarding my immigration consultant services. I put in that sweat equity. I remember getting my very first client with Olvera and Associates, and it was from me handing out a flyer to them previously. And that feels good, knowing that it wasn't just handed to you, that it wasn't just put on your lap. I don't know. For me, I feel proud when I can see the fruits of my labor paying off. So like I said, one of the perks of buying a business in a box is it allows you to focus on other aspects of the business, including improving your service offerings. In my case, it allowed me to start my immigration consultant business at the same time that I was doing divorces. You just have to think about, what is your goal 10 years from now when you're considering whether or not to purchase a license for a business in a box? Do you want to build your own legacy on your own business? Or will you be fine paying a license fee with the cutoff date and to have instant credibility the first day you open, a place where you're able to test out tried and true methods that work? There's no right or wrong answer. Just go in with your eyes wide open, is what I would say. Get as much information as you can so you don't make any rash decisions. And like I always say, this goes back to self-awareness. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Do you find it difficult to start things from scratch? Is it so much easier for you to revise and improve upon something? How selective and flexible are you on templates that you use? Do you like client development? All I can say is use your best judgment, read the fine print, but best of all, enjoy the ride, whichever option you choose.